Hello, welcome to my channel once again and happy 2025. This is my first video in 2025 and it's not a coincidence. I took out time because I wanted to unleash a lot of quality stuff and your guess is as good as mine. We are going to be starting with artificial intelligence. So we'll be running a series on artificial intelligence. The first video will be centered on how you can make use of large language model in the Azure portal. Then the second video will be on how you can send API requests, get response from Azure from an external application. Then the third video, we are going to be building an ASP.NET application that connects to Azure. It makes use of the service on Azure for AI to perform some task. Yeah, so basically we'll be exploring AI from an Azure point of view. And I hope you find it useful. I mean, AI is everywhere now, and I believe that having technical expertise around this subject area will put you at an advantage. Most people, when we talk about AI, the only thing they can do is going to chat GPT, going to copilot.microsoft.com and other AI platforms that are freely available. But this series will make you have more technical depth as to what you can do with AI. I'll be showing you a couple of things that you will be able to do here that you can't do with the regular chat gpt.com and the likes. So this first video is just an introductory one. We'll be exploring the Azure service for AI. Then in subsequent video, we'll start to open Visual Studio and start to programmatically connect to Azure from a completely external application. And we are not just connecting to Azure, we are connecting to the AI service on Azure, OpenAI to be more specific. So let me share my screen. So I think you should be able to see my screen now. Hopefully you can see my screen. Um, Yeah, hopefully you can see my screen. So I'm on my Azure portal now. So the first thing I'll be doing is I want to open the service that is for AI on Azure, and it's known as Azure AI Foundry. It's a centralized place that allows you to do all you need to be able to do when it comes to AI. It's basically a unified app for developing AI applications and custom co-pilot experience. So all the large language models that you can think of, they are all here. All the fine tunings, they are all here. All the rags, all the fine indexers, and everything that has to do with AI, your playgrounds, everything, you get them here. So it's a centralized place that allow you to do everything regarding AI. So the first thing we need to do is to create an hub. So you come over here, you want to create an hub. So in a single hub, there are multiple projects. So we are not creating a project now because I do not have any hub created. So I'll create an hub first. And I'll choose my resource group, pick this. Then the name, let me give it Ayo Frankly as the name of my hub. That's basically all I need to do to create an hub. So I click on review and create, and I'll create my hub. There's this misconception that using AI service on Azure is very, very expensive. But in all my tests, I mean, we're already approaching the end of February. I've been working with, because I did a lot of research and exploratory, exploratory research regarding this, because as I said earlier on, I wanted to dish out quality content. And if you know how to navigate your way around it, you are not going to have issues with the pricing model, especially when you are not yet in production. You are just doing it for tests. So you are going to see that how we are going to change pricing tiers. Even the AI, there are various pricing tiers. There is a way you can go about it that you wouldn't have to pay a lot. So we are going to be looking at it. We are going to be looking at that as well. So while this is in progress, I just want to walk us through some of the limitations of using the chatgpt.com and copilot.microsoft.com. Let me open it in another tab. Copilot.microsoft.com as well as chatgpt.com. Okay, so we are opening this. So this you get to enter something and um you can get responses as well. This is the one from Microsoft. You also enter a text. You can use voice as well. So it has um a lot of um features that you can dwell on, and all of those features are also in my um in Azure as well. So now we are done loading our hub. I want to launch AI Foundry. So there's a separate portal for AI Foundry. This is the hub interface. I'm going into the AI Foundry interface now. Yeah, so I am in the AI Foundry interface. And I said earlier on, if you can remember, we created an hub first, and inside an hub, we have different projects. But in my own case now, I'm here to create any project. So I'm creating a project now, new project, because we will need to work from a project. So let me call this PLG Ayo Frankly. Yeah, so my project is being created now. So while that is being done, um, so let's go back to our conversation around the limitation of GPT. So one of the core limitations is the inability to be able to integrate it with web services, unlike what we can do with Azure OpenAI. That's a very, very core aspect of this because I mean, people have different solutions that they built and they might want to um leverage on what they might want to see what AI has to offer around that. And that is what we are going to be doing in this series. And in terms of handling of non-structured data inputs, so GPT expects your data to be entered in a particular way, but um you might want it to be in another way. But using AI, using the AI service, there are so many data. I mean, when I was preparing for this, there was a data format, Parvat database, Parvat or Perfect or something like that, that I was using, that was integrating into the service, connecting it to my large language model to work with it. So working on Azure would allow you to work with more robust data formats, and also the way the search service work when you're on Azure is a lot different as well, and a lot more. This is also faster. There are limitations around using it from the outside, data privacy and residency. It's a lot. There are a lot of advantages of having this technical capability. Okay, so our project is done loading. You can see I have an API key. I have a service endpoint as well. All this will come in handy in our subsequent videos when we are connecting an external service to our project, to our Azure AI project. So what I want to do now is, let's scroll down. I just want you to see the interface properly. And from the left navigation, you can see the various options you have: models, endpoint, data, and indexes. We are going to be doing a lot of these too in our subsequent videos. Prompt flow fine-tuning, so we'll be seeing some of all this. But for this video, all you need to do is go to playground. From the left navigation, playground. We are in our project now. You can see project. We're in our project here, playground. So we are in our playground now. Want to go to the chat playground. Okay, so there are many options here. There are many options here. So before we even go to the chat playground, let me just show you some things that this can do for you under the speech playground. So let's try the speech playground. Yeah. So the speech playground is loading. Yeah, so real-time transcription. So what this does is that if I should click on record, anything I'm saying, you are going to be seeing them transcribed on the screen. And you're also going to be seeing a video file that contains what I'm saying. So because I do not want to just read just anything, what should I read? Basically, let me see if I can grab a text that I can read, or let me just go to let me go to okay, I will just read a Bible verse or something. So I'll click on record. I'll read John 3:16. I'll read out John 3:16. So I'm clicking on record now. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believe in him should not perish but have an everlasting life. That is John 3:16, King James Version. Yeah. Yeah, you can see how accurate it is. You can see how accurate it is. Isn't it lovely? And another AI feature under the speech playground that I like is speech translation. And what this speech translation does is that, I have seen this applied in real life. So there was an interview I was watching online. It was between an English guy and a Russian official, and the Englishman understands just English. He didn't understand Russian. The Russian man understands just Russian. He doesn't understand English. And they all had their earphone and their microphone. And as the Englishman was speaking in English, the Russian man was hearing what the Englishman was saying in Russian. And as the Russian guy was responding, the Englishman was hearing what the Russian man was saying in English. So with the smart devices, and it is this AI that was used to make that happen, and is this speech translation. So as I click on this speech translation, what we are going to do is I'll be speaking in English, and I will choose a language that it should be rendered into, and you'll be seeing it's being transcribed into another language over here. So translate from English to, let me pick a language that I know that people in Africa will be able to relate to. So let me pick Hausa. So when I click on record, I'll be speaking in English as well. I don't know. I want to say something that is not in the Bible just to see how accurate it will be. Um, Let me see if I can read out. What can I read? Um, Let me go to go.com. Okay, let me just read Psalm 23. I don't know. Nothing is coming to my head, but you are going to see it in Hausa as I'm speaking in English. The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the sea waters. He restoreth my soul. Even though I walk through the shadow of death, I fear no evil, for God is with me. Blah, blah, blah. Psalm 23. Yeah. So you can see it in Hausa. So this is very, very useful. You can see we have a lot of options over here. Custom speech. You can also select multiple persons to speak like you. I've tried out this custom speech as well, but because of our time, we will not be able to dwell so much into it. Then there's also personal voice, which is also an interesting tool that you can use over here. It's a lot. There's personal voice, and I think let me scroll to the extreme right, video translation and the likes. So let me go back to my playground. Before I go to the chat playground, which is what a lot of people are more familiar with, let's also go to the images playground. You can see there are many different categories of playground here. You can go to the healthcare playground to see more, um, to see how AI assistant can help as regards health, social security number, clinical records, and the likes. Then let's go to images. I mean, images is something that many people love to play around with. So let me see. Let's do Ronaldo in a rural area in Nigeria. I like Ronaldo, so let's generate this, something like this, in a rural area in Ghana. Let's say in Ghana. Or Nigeria is fine. Nigeria. And we are going to generate this. You can see the model that is being used. So we are generating an image on this. It is not generating, probably it's taking a lot of time. Let's do Messi in a rural area in Nigeria. Let's generate. Hopefully this will work. Yeah. So this definitely does not look like Messi. I did this some yesterday, I think, and I got something that was similar to Messi. Probably if I had Lionel Messi, it's going to make more sense. Lionel Messi. So you can download it, you can copy the prompt and the likes. Let me add Lionel Messi. Yeah, so you can see this is white. It doesn't look like Messi to me, but at least he's a white man and he has the tattoos from Messi. Okay, so at least that makes a little bit of sense. So you can choose your deployment. This is just the default one that we have here. But you can create a base model that you work with. Okay, so the chat playground, if I should click over here to see the chat playground, you can see that we do not have a deployment yet. That's why we are having all that. To create a base deployment, what I need to do is I can either create from here or I come over here to models and endpoint and create a deployment. Okay, so let me just create from here because I want us to see the list of all the large language models. So you can see we have a lot of large language models listed here. There used to be, yeah, you can see at the moment we have 1,858, and they cut across different companies, different AI companies. I mean, when you see GPT, you know it's coming from OpenAI, which Microsoft have strong interest in. O1 is also from OpenAI. If you see Llama, you know it's from Meta. If you see Pi, you know it's from Microsoft. If you see anything like Gemini, you know it's from Google. So there are a lot. If I should scroll down, there are a lot. There are a lot. There are a lot. Okay. Yeah, Pi from Microsoft. You can see that. And you can, if you're not sure the large language model that apply to your use case, you can filter. You can come over here and you can filter by the company. You can see different companies and the kind of large language model they create. Can also come to deployment options, manage compute or serverless, depending on what you want. Then you can also filter based on the task that you want to do. Um, okay, so because I'm in the chat playground, that's why we have is limited to just this. But if I should cancel this, let me go to model and endpoint. Then let me go over to deploy base model. I want to choose a base model. Yeah, I'll be able to select hopefully my inference task. So I can choose what I want. So depending on the task I want to do, is it based on speech, text speech translation, token classification, image, and the likes. Okay, so drug discovery and the like. So we have different inference tasks. So you can filter based on that as well. So in my own case, I want to work with GPT 440 mini, which is a chat completion, but very generic type of model. This is what I want to be working with. So I'm confirming now. Yeah, so global standard is my deployment type. Yeah, so the deployment is happening. So now that we are doing this, so assuming I had selected a base model before I went into my image playground and I chose a base model that specializes in image. So the image construction would have been a lot better. But because I didn't create a model, that's why we're getting a black man as Lionel Messi. So now let's open in playground. Yeah, so let's choose our deployment. Let's go back. Let's, yeah. So now we can see our deployment over here. Now we can add a context. So this is similar to the text box that you have in Chat GPT. Let me confirm how many minutes I have remaining. Okay. So this is similar to the text box you have in Chat GPT, but in addition to having this text box, we can also add context to what we want. We can control how the LLM, the type of responses that we are getting. So and we can add data beneath, and we can use an index to add our data, or we can also add data manually. We can also upload files, adding a data source, and we can also add parameters as well. Many of these options are not available to you um when using the conventional platforms. All these options determines they let you know how the type of response you are going to get. I particularly like this temperature because this temperature, the more you increase it, the more creative the response is going to be. So when you have temperature very high, It means that um, if you say something that is not so accurate, the system will deduce what you are trying to say based on its own intelligence, based on the data that it has access to. So, but if you make it low, then I mean, it wouldn't be as creative as expected. So, if you want to know what all this means, just come over here, click on the ITAR controls randomness. Lowering the temperature means that the model will produce more repetitive and deterministic responses. Increasing it will determine more unexpected or creative responses. And top P is a little bit similar to temperature as well. It says that control the randomness by using a different method, blah, blah, blah. So all these are very important. All these options, you might not be able to have access to them when you are working with the free copilots or the free chat GPT. Okay. So, and there are so many other options over here as well. So we can add some context. So I want to add a little bit of context. You are an AI assistant that specialize in solving mathematical problems. Do not provide a response for anything that is not, or let me say, you provide answers to mass questions and nothing else. Okay, let's just have this as the context. So you can add context to this, apply changes, continue. Yeah, so this is being said. I'm adding a context to determine how my model should behave, the type of response that I'll get for my query. So let's just say 10 plus 20, and let's see the response that we are going to get. Yeah, you can see straightforward, 10 plus 20 equals to 30. Now, let me copy this and let me go over to ChatGPT, which are the same people that that are in charge of the model, the base model I am using, 10 plus 20. You can see it say 10 plus 20 equals 30 as well. So now you can see here it's more mathematical based. So now let's look at what is my name. Let's see. You can see I'm sorry, but I can only assist with mathematical problems. Exactly. But if I should enter what is my name here, I'm going to get a response. Yeah, so you can add context to it. That's basically what I am trying to illustrate here. So we are going to look at this view code here. We are going to see how we can use the code that we have here, key authentication, enter ID authentication. We are going to be looking at this in our subsequent videos. Okay, so this video is already getting too long, so let me end here. But there's a lot you can do. There's a lot you can do. I hope I've touched on all I plan to touch on. So we've spoken about um API calls, external application. We've spoken about the limitation of ChatGPT. So and also difference between OpenAI, using OpenAI outside of Azure and using it in Azure. Faster rollout of features is one of the advantages of using it outside of Azure, because for Azure OpenAI, it's integrated into the Azure ecosystem, and There needs to be sufficient testing. It's more stable, and also in terms of where your the SLA that comes with it, because Azure environment depends on your pricing tier though. Um, our data privacy guidelines that is governing it. Then also, in the next video, I'll be explaining the difference between adding data directly and making use of RAG. RAG is something that you cannot overemphasize in the AI. In AI, our next video will definitely be around RAG. When I say RAG, I mean retrieval augmented generation. So we are going to be looking at it, what it does, and we are going to have demos around it as well. Multiple demos around it. So basically we can end here, and in the next video we are going to be exploring more around AI. The next video is going to be we are going to be writing code, so just get ready. Python, ASP, but the end result is what you are going to really love. The end result from what we are going to be doing in the next video. So have a nice day, everyone. If you find this video helpful, don't hesitate to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.